Hello, everybody. Hello, beautiful Linda. Fell down. Oh, my red here of the snake envelope fell down. Get back there. Okay. All right. So we'll just stick that there, I think. All right. Ooh, I like your background. Here comes Christine. And I'm gonna pin, is that right? Supposed to do? I think pin. And welcome, beautiful Christine. And we'll give it a second to see who else is joining us as I came pouring into my office at the almost last minute. I had a unplugged in. Yes, okay. All righty. Welcome back. For some reason, I feel really refreshed. I had a wonderful revisit to the Cleveland market. I was in Ashtabula Saturday, and both halves of my day got sold out again. I cannot thank the good people of Cleveland. Christine, you're one of them. I cannot thank Cleveland enough. It's great. And I am planning my next several retreats. So getting those, there's a lot of things. I got a lot of irons in the fire. It's all really good, and it's about bringing more people together. Because that's what makes the world go around. And especially after 2020, the whole thing about connection got broken, severed, and we are starving for that connection. Wrap yourself in love, right? Ooh, right. So you can expect plenty of things. They'll be out in my newsletter as soon as I get some contracts signed. I am bringing Astro Victor. If you got my last newsletter, Astro Victor is from Budapest, currently residing in Morocco, and he's going to be coming to Western New York, and he'll probably be here for like maybe a month. You want to slot out the weekend of June 9th. That weekend, we're doing I think it's a 3-day public event with a bonus for Monday for something extra to work with him personally. And it's going to be in Chautauqua County, New York, at the Chautauqua Harbor Hotel, but I still need to sign the contract with them. So I did confirm them for the venue. So woo! My Lionsgate retreat, this is going to be the best one ever. That's going to be the weekend of August 8th, 9th, and 10th. Or is it 9, 10? It's not 9, 11, 8, 9, and 10. It looks like, I forget if it's Cattaraugus, Chautauqua. So I'm working with a venue that's not signed yet. And then I'm also going to be doing a couple of business seminars and then a spiritual beginning your journey 1-day seminar. So they're geared towards different people that I serve and, give the people what they want. And so that's what I'm doing. Okay. Now, today we are going to talk about today because it's the vernal equinox. Yo. And there's so much here that I just got to share it. Okay, so here comes the chart for this time. Noon Eastern. This is where everything is. So if you just kind of like look this over, everything is kind of all scrunched up. Like a ponytail scrunchie, all scrunched up. And here they are. So we've got all of this Pisces energy. Now, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And the 29th degree is the very last degree of the 360-degree wheel. So anything that falls on the 29th degree of the final sign of the entirety of the zodiac, 29 degrees of Pisces, is about endings, finality. A lot of people are passing away. A lot of people's pets are passing away or needing to be put down. Like, it's not a phenomena. It perfectly is aligning with the astrology. What else? Fatalistic Saturn, the brown H, that's Saturn, also known as Chronos, Father Time. And it's in the sign of Pisces, which is I dissolve. And so my time dissolves. And so this is passing away or natural closings and endings. What once worked is no longer effective. And we need to maybe not exactly pivot, but we need to open ourselves up to other options, other avenues, other ways of expressing ourselves, and other ways of spiritual Pisces connections. And what else? So we've got this blue horseshoe up here at 27, sandwiched in between Saturn and Neptune, which is the trident. So the North Node, this headphone, that's the North Node, that's what we need to be moving towards. And what we are shedding away is going to be the South Node, or what's down here, which is always going to be exactly opposite the North Node. So it's way over here all by itself in the 6th house. In the sign of Virgo, this is going to be health. And so this is going to bring up more issues around immunity, sensitivities. What I once was able to eat, now I can't, because my body is upgrading with the shifts of our planet. Things that I used to love all the time, all of a sudden feels or tastes or looks offensive to me, gross, makes me sick, things like this. Your body is going through upgrades, and there's nothing we can do. That's outside of us. And this speaks to our health and our immune system. The immune system is Pisces. The gut biome is Virgo. And so this is changing in us. And what used to detoxify us has shifted. It's almost like our axis on a personal level is being shifted. And you might suddenly have a craving for something really weird that came out of nowhere. Well, it's because it has something in it that your body remembers that is good for it. So I'm really been picking up a lot lately on phosphorus. Now, I didn't look it up, but things seem to come up in, like, it's not a trend. It is when a whole bunch of clients, unrelated clients, have something that is in common that keeps on presenting itself. That shows me that times are changing and it's impacting people. And it has to do with our nutrition, the nutrition that we consume, and what our body, the smart body that we have built in, is telling us what we need. The things that have been coming up: magnesium, manganese, phosphate, electrolytes, the ability to absorb with our stomach lining. And for some reason, as soon as I said that, I'm getting the nasal lining. Now, the nasal lining is inflamed because of the perfumes, because of the laundry detergent scent that we're wearing, because of you don't want to use wax melts. Wax melts are not good. There's inflammatory, oh, it looks like, and so this is just a message coming through: inflammatory substances in the air. Okay, so that has to do with the fog, which is also a Neptunian theme, or even a keyword for Neptune and Pisces is fog, delusion. So out in the news, everyone's talking about this weird fog. Well, there's metals, there's toxins in it. Um, I forget now. Something was going on. I had a feeling about it. I made a post out about it, and oh, it was a whole bunch of chemtrails the night before the eclipse last week. And I said, watch, because now you're going to see in several days, you're going to see a whole bunch of people getting sick. And guess what? Right? So you have to trust when you're getting stuff. People are getting way the heck more intuitive, and that's going to be Pisces. The North Node are what we need to, I call it, in your personal chart, I call it to graduate in this lifetime. It's about leveraging what you're an expert at from a past life, and that's going to be the South Node. So this is not here a personal chart, but it is the chart of the equinox. And it's not for any particular location. The 0 point of Aries is global. It's global. So when there's like today, 0 of Aries is the first day of spring in the Northern Hemisphere. But because it's like a world rebirth. But this happens every year. We have the vernal equinox every year, but there's always something that correlates, that corresponds. There's always something that happens. And so this is a new launch, Mars, because Mars is the ruling planet of Aries, this warrior energy. But look in front of the sun, we've got Venus, the green retrograde, holding hands with Mercury retrograde, both in the sign of Aries. So it's kind of this hurry up and wait, not so fast. Wait a minute. You don't have all your ducks in a row yet, and you definitely don't have all your information yet. Why am I saying that? Because we're in between two eclipses. And eclipses are bookends that usually bring permanent life changes. So this is a big deal. The fact that we're having a vernal equinox sandwiched in between two eclipses means, especially with the North Node in Pisces, natural endings, let it go. Detoxifying your body, paying attention to what your body is telling you, and especially about nutrition, about prayers, about your spiritual understanding, about dreams analysis, dreams interpretation, about even who you pray to. Who are you listening to when you're meditating? Who is it? What is it? Does it feel right for you? Are you having some kind of a rude awakening? Like, oh my God, like maybe that was somebody else's something, and I was taking it for myself and applying it, and it wasn't even mine. It's really getting laser focused. Well, not too laser, but it's zooming in a little bit on your level of spiritual understanding, and where do you apply your understanding into your teachings or your daily practice. In other words, you got to start walking your talk. Why am I going to listen to you if you're going to stand on a podium and talk to me about health, and then later you got a DWI, right? So you got to walk your talk. And that is, we're still we're very much in the shadows of this. And I have a reason I'm saying that. It's because so many planets are not in their health right now. So they're either debilitated, like in their fall, in their weakened position in the chart, which is usually the opposite of the sign that they rule. And so now let's talk some examples. So let's look at all the planets and see the health of them. The sun loves Aries. The sun is naturally, sun is we call it a planet that rules over Leo, and it's fire. And so if the sun is in a fire sign, it has more oomph. The sun loves Aries. That's good. It's healthy. Venus is not good in Aries. Venus is about love and beauty and romance, and it's not about lust. That's Scorpio. Venus and Aries. Venus loves Pisces. And she was in Pisces, but then she moved into Aries. Now she's retrograde. She's going to go back into Pisces, which is quiet. Aries is not quiet. Aries is very rammy. And think jumping off sides, like in football, jumping off sides. Not only is it Venus, but now it's also Mercury, because Mercury is what we say and how we say it. So we might have lashed out at somebody and then realized they were the innocent person, and it was maybe their boss who put them up to that, as an example. So we have both of these. Venus is not strong in Aries. She loves Pisces. She's exalted in Taurus. Venus loves Taurus, sweets and chocolates and wine. This is Venusian. Beauty and art and garb, your beautiful clothes. Venus loves being in beautiful clothing and beautiful colors. She rules over two signs, Taurus and Libra. So she's not strong in Aries, which is her partner is the lovers are Venus and Mars. So she is in Mars's sign. This is not her comfort zone. And she's retrograde. So it's a double weakness for her. And then before I move off of her, Venus is always good. Venus and Jupiter are always good. There's not even when they're retrograde, they're still good, but they're slightly muffled. Now, Mercury also rules over two signs. It rules over Gemini and Virgo, but it's in Aries. Mercury is how we communicate. So this is a lot of people getting all heated up, but there's no substance. What do you call that? A hot bag of air, something like that. Don't pay it any attention, because pretty soon the other side of the coin is going to reveal itself, and you're going to see where everyone's getting all heated. So it's whatever the agenda, whatever the news is trying to tell you to get excited and angry, agitated, fearful. Don't give it any attention at all, because by mid-April, you're going to see the other side of the coin, and then you're going to understand, and you're going to be able to put it in perspective, and you're going to be so grateful that you didn't burn energy jumping on the bandwagon. Let's stone him. That's what's going on now. Just pay attention to whoever, whatever is trying to get y'all wound up. Oh my God, did you see what they did? Don't feed that. Okie doke. So both of those two planets, those are personal planets in astrology. So they move very quickly. They're called personal planets. So this gives us a big flavor to who we are. Your natural Venus, your natural Mercury. All right, both of them are going backwards. So they're going to cross over the sun, which is our roar, especially when it's in a fire sign. Spring is like, let's plant those seeds. Well, in New York, this is the first day of spring and it's in like a lion. It's windy as shit. It got cold. Well, yesterday it was 70 something. Today, well, it says 50 with rain, super windy. I would call that in like a lion. But yesterday was amazing. Anyway, Venus is going to cross over the sun because she's going backwards in the sky from Earth's perspective. Mercury is also going backwards in the sky from Earth's perspective. So both of these in hot and fiery Aries are going to cross back over the sun in Aries, and we have to eat our words, because now we're starting to see, oh my God, I just tore that sweet receptionist a new asshole, and it wasn't her fault at all. In fact, it was mine. I showed up on the wrong day or something like that. And I kind of feel that we've all been there. And so this is not being too proud to ask for forgiveness, but it starts with ourselves. So this might bring up remorse. This might bring up people that you've lambasted that were innocent, or when people have done this to you, but really because Aries is it's about me. Aries is identity. Where did you beat your own self up in the past? And have you evolved, or are you still beating yourself up? You should be coming out of that now. And I'm talking about your whole life. So we're emerging we're shedding a skin. This one is a lifetime skin. So there's smaller little skins that we shed as we grow and hopefully evolve and figure things out. But this one is unprecedented. This is such a big time in the world, in Earth's evolution, and we're here. It's so awesome to be here. And your soul did choose to be here during this pivotal time in Earth's ascension process. Very exciting. But right now, taking it down to like today and currently, this is what we love. We might have second thoughts about. And that's why when Venus is retrograde, you never change your style and buy a new wardrobe, get a dramatic new haircut, get a crazy new tattoo, because they might spell something wrong, or you might feel very different when Venus comes out of retrograde. So you don't do cosmetic surgery when Venus is retrograde. You don't do the lip filler. You don't do the tummy tuck. You don't do anything that's for beautification, which is what Venus rules over. When she's retrograde, you don't do it. Now, add to that, Mercury is retrograde. So most people say, don't get a car, don't get a computer, don't get a phone. Well, Mercury is retrograde a third of the time. So if you do your research ahead of time, you're good. If all of a sudden today your phone breaks, you need to get a new phone, there could be some problems with it. But you still need a phone. So make sure you have the warranty, because if something gets all wacky, at least you're covered. We cannot stop our lives every single time that Mercury goes retrograde. And a third of people are born with Mercury retrograde. My youngest is born with that, and he's a Mercury ruled sign. He's a Gemini rising. That's Mercury, and he's a Virgo Mercury. So Mercury is huge to him. Mercury is commerce, sales, technology, and the short sprint. It's a wonderful sense of humor. Mercury is known for that. And so if you are a Mercury ruled sign, or you have a lot of Virgo, or you have a lot of Gemini in your chart, then Mercury going backwards is a big deal for you, unless you were born with it. So for a third of us that were born with Mercury retrograde, right now is a great time for you. But 2/3 of the world is flipping out. Oh my God, nothing I say is right. Because you might accidentally send the email that you only were trying to vet and you didn't mean to hit send, and now, oops, foot in mouth. Or you thought that you sent your RSVP to something and it didn't go through. You got to double check. You have to double check your flight times, your tickets, your anything that you purchase, because it could get lost in the mail. These are the things that do happen when Mercury is retrograde. It's less likely to happen to you if you were born with Mercury retrograde. But I would still recommend be a little bit on the vigilant side. All right. Now let's look at the other planets. So we know that Venus is not in her strength in Aries, Mercury not so much. Let's go right around. Let's go to the brown H. That's Saturn. Saturn is not strong in Pisces. It's not its fall, but it's definitely not strong. Saturn is time. Pisces is etheric. It's a water sign, but it is, I dissolve. Saturn is about, I gotta touch it. I gotta see, I need to experience with my senses. I gotta put my hands on it. Where does it say it in the book of blah? Saturn is about reference materials. It's always been that way. Tradition, conventionalism, founding fathers. So the Saturn in Pisces is like, oh, no. It needs to be black or white, or I'm not buying it. Pisces is mist. You can't grab a handful of the ocean. Saturn doesn't buy that. So Saturn is not strong in Pisces. All right, let's go down to Uranus. So Uranus is lightning, god of the skies, unpredictability, advanced technology, space travel, extraterrestrials, freaky, kinky, out of the box, non-conventional, rebellious energy. It is not strong in Taurus. It's lightning crammed into a little box. It is not happy there. And so all of the 7 to 8 years that it's been in here, earthquakes. Because Taurus is an earth sign. Uranus is lightning. So lightning strikes, yeah. But earthquakes, more volatile, more unpredictable, landslides, natural disasters that are sudden. And there's been loads of them. And luckily that planet will be changing signs. I need to tell you when. Uranus is going to move into 0 of Gemini, July 7th. That's going to be a big day. So a couple days before, a couple days after, oh, that's going to be a hot spot. So that's 7-7. Shit. That's also a divine number. So wow. So Uranus moving out of little sweet, fixed, stubborn Taurus is gonna be like lashing out with a ferociousness. I'm out of the box. Look the fuck out. Well, there is something that I was seeing as I was falling asleep last night. I'm gonna predict something about the Vatican goes down. Now we know it's been stricken by lightning. And I don't know if you know, but the Vatican, underneath the Vatican is extremely evil. I'm not going to talk about it because it's that dark. Very upsetting. Um, well, something about it, like even as I'm talking about it, it's almost like it's going to be raised, like flattened. I kind of feel an implosion, like a suck hole. So there might be an earthquake that destroys the whole Vatican, which would be good, because Catholicism has become so twisted and convoluted, and a lot of it has gone dark, has gone evil, has gone far away from the true nature of Christianity because the founding fathers patriarchal hijacked it and made it more about worshiping me and giving me your money and you being less than, and you got to come to me in order to talk to God. Like that's a bunch of crap. But that is the way that Christianity took a turn, and when King James got a hold of the Bible, they struck out a lot of the things that had God in us, which is the truth, and they removed it because King James needed to be about his kingdom and not about everybody has God inside. And so from that point forward, kind of all bets are off, and it just got further and further down the yucky part. In fact, there's the Saturn Club and the Secret Society. Saturn is elitism. It is, and this has been imploding for years. Why? Because Pluto was going through the sign of Capricorn since 2007. Well, now Pluto has changed signs, and it is up in here in an air sign. And so it's done with Capricorn. So as soon as Pluto got into Capricorn, the housing crash happened. The banking industry got really, really exposed. That's great. So now this new wave of the next 20 years is going to, excuse me, is going to start taking technology down to its knees. We're going to see the corruption in Silicon Valley, the corruption in the Bill Gates, the corruption in all of that stuff. Now you can start to weave the things together and connect the dots. Okay. Vatican, Bill Gates, Hillary Clinton, the foundations, the Clinton Foundation, Melinda Gates, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I know they're divorced. The Haitian refugees. Okay, where does this lead? Child trafficking, sex trafficking, the Jeffrey Epstein, all the um all the politicians, the celebrities, all of that shit, which is Capricorn. One thing I love about Capricorn, they always get caught. So now that Pluto is in Aquarius for the next 20 years, this is going to be the sting. This is going to be the It's going to be the aftermath of what it did to Capricorn, founding fathers and all that stuff. And now it's starting to expose. Pluto exposes. Pluto's about underground. It exposes the corruption of what? Aquarian things, technology. So you know what is going to come out? About how the vax of 2020 and that whole agenda was a mechanism to control the population by sterilizing its people. And that's going to, it already has started to come out, but these poor children, and the sicknesses that are happening, if they don't disgust you, then you are not a human being. These children are coming, they're going to the hospital with these weird viruses that they're suddenly dying from. The flu, and they're suddenly this is the truth of what's happening, and you cannot continue to sweep that under the carpet. Look at the celebrities on the soccer field and sports. They drop dead or they're having heart attacks. They were forced to get the so how can you, all of this cannot keep on being swept under the carpet. Aquarius is social media. So you definitely know, I would say, stuff is not being banned so much anymore. Now, as an individual, a lot of those who have a lot of followers who've been shadow banned, they'll have to create a new profile. But all of that hush hush, blacking out, all that's redacted. No, it's done. And as you can see, which is in the news, the JFK assassination files are now public domain. I mean, this is what we need. So we can see the lies that we've been fed by the corrupted founding fathers. So this is what we're moving into. This vernal equinox being in between two eclipses is a timestamp that is going to be the backdrop of the next 12 months. That's why this is so important. So this stuff here is going to carry on for the whole next 12 months. In between eclipses, it means the whole year we're still going to be disseminating. We're still going to be trying to figure things out. We're still not going to have all of the information. But I can tell you on the 29th, when we have the solar eclipse, more stuff is going to come to light. And it's good because the solar eclipse will be talking to the fire energy, the Aries energy that we have. All right. Got off on a side stage there. Okay, so let's keep going here. So Uranus is not healthy in an earth sign. Absolutely not. Nope. So this is now Uranus is the planet of truth, and the sign it rules over is Aquarius. Pluto underground Aquarius. So it's going to continue to reveal secret society, shadow government, truth, 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 truth. And what they also both have to do with is the people. And this is so exciting because it's for the people, by the people. I absolutely love it. Like but it is also revolt and rebellion. And so it can create civil wars. There's a million people revolting. Is it Bosnia, I think? And this stuff is happening worldwide, but it's still being muffled by our mainstream media. And that's why you don't watch that crap because it's all fed. It's not, it's not the olden days of journalism and truth. That's been taken away and it's paid off. And so it all streams to just one source and it funnels in and then it goes to all the mass media. And then if you put them side by side, they're using the same catchphrases. There's no writing anymore. There's no journalism anymore. It's all fed and it's disgusting. That's shifting though, too. So that is very good news. Okay, so now the next planet is Jupiter. Jupiter is in its fall in Gemini. Jupiter rules over Sagittarius, the sign that is opposite of that. So this is Fat Man in a Little Coat. It is that. Jupiter's big Gemini is little. And why? I want to know why. Well, Jupiter is wisdom and higher teachings. Gemini is when you first start going to grammar school. Sagittarius is higher education, but it's also philosophy and where do I fit in with the world and other worldly points of view. And it's also religion and law. It's our belief systems. Well, it's too much. All this stuff is infiltrating too much in our nervous systems ever since last year, March. Luckily, he is going to shift out of Gemini and into Cancer, which is a sign friendly to Jupiter. So this is going to be good. The downside of what we're in right now, which is going to be a timestamp for the next 12 months, but it's going to increase in June, flooding, flooding. We're already starting to see this in, I think it's Venice, parts of Italy, worldwide. This more floods, more tsunamis, especially what now we know 7/7. You can bet it. You can. There is no way that it's not going to happen like that. It's 100%. So there could be torrential rains that create tidal waves, tsunamis with the earthquake and shifting of the tectonic plates, especially around 7/7. But because it's going to be compounded with Jupiter, big in Cancer, water, big water. Now, what I feel great about, actually, before I even say that, there's already been an island or more is no more. An island got reconsumed by the water. I mean, how are islands formed in the first place, right? Volcanoes and the big earth, what we would call catastrophes. There's going to be more. But so what I'm excited about with this, I've seen this like intuitively, and I've gotten some of the stories this way about it, is that old records, civilizations will be uncovered, revealed. Now, we weren't ready. The amount of awakened people on Earth was not enough. There was too much control, too much redacting. So it couldn't have happened before. But this is going to be one of the landmarks, one of the, not landmark, landslide, one of the big deals, one of the big markers. And it's going to give us information about Atlantis. Maybe I do expect Lemuria, more information. Oh, you know who else is going to be in the news? Hawaii, islands, maybe the Aleutian Islands up in Alaska, wherever those archipelagos and wherever there's a whole bunch of islands, you can bet there's going to be change there. But I also feel old things that have been drowned will now resurface with the earthquakes, with the shifting of the tectonic plates, which is what gives us earthquakes in the first place. It's going to be wonderful. I do expect an old technology will surface. So how did people communicate 70,000 years ago? It was telepathic, but there was also technology that we don't have today. Because when humanity reinvents itself, it's never going to be exactly the way that it once was in other civilizations. Okay, so we've got Jupiter is in its fall. It's debilitated, not healthy. Mars, yep, it's in its fall because Mars is in Cancer. It hates being in Cancer. It is not strong at all. It loves, what's the opposite of Cancer is Capricorn. So Mars is royal in Capricorn. Mars wants to be Capricorn when it grows up. So in the sign of Cancer is not at all strong. This can bring up passive aggressive people, and it's not limited to gender because Mars is men, but Cancer is women. And so it could be, it's not limited. But this is going to bring up family topics around the family, real estate, household matters, pressure diversity, and housing. I am absolutely seeing flooding, and like certain places will be wiped right off the map. I also see this is going to happen more inland in the United States on the southern east coast. And one of those might be a resort or a famous, or not famous, but like a resort somewhere that people always go to for their summer vacation or something like that, wiped right off the map. Uh, Definitely more devastation. Now we've already had a little bit of that going on for some reason it seems to be skim coated over, like stuff that happened in North Carolina. And the in fact it was water damage in places with altitude like this. Some of that was geoengineered. All right. So I've said a lot of keywords that I don't think will be able to be permissible on YouTube, but I'm gonna give it a go anyway. I'm still gonna put it up. Okay. Um, so Mars is in its fall, Jupiter's in its fall, Uranus is in its fall. Mercury, not super strong. Well, actually, Mercury is an air and it does okay in fire. So that one we'll let go. Venus is not strong there. Neptune is strong in its own, that's its home sign. Saturn, not strong. And those are the main planets. Sun is strong. So most of the sky is not comfortable. And that is going to impact you on an individual level. Something's not right. I don't feel safe under my feet. I feel the ground is shifting. I'm afraid of my footing. You do got to watch your step and take care of your feet because all this Pisces energy can lead to a foot injury, an ankle injury. Saturn in Pisces, I walked into the wall. I didn't see it there. Saturn is something hard, like walls and structure. But I'm kind of feeling one of the four pillars of a church crumbles, gives way, and the whole thing comes down. There's not enough of the following to support particular churches. Now that has already been happening. I feel it's going to rapidly accelerate. More are going to quote unquote go down. There is going to be, I can't explain this yet until I get more information, a slump in the housing market. I don't know exactly what they mean by that. But when I see that, I get the word landslide and going into the ocean, going into the water. So this is going to create, refugees. So people who have no home, homelessness, because their homes have been washed away. This could very well be California, that coast. So that's not the East Coast anymore. We're seeing southern West Coast now. And yeah, that could be a thing because Pisces also rules over refugees and homeless people and people that are unable to fend for themselves. So this is going to be the elderly, children, again, refugees, displaced people. So this is what else we can forecast because that's what this energy rules over. So this is going to be what our topics are for the whole next 12 months as a time stamp. The moon is in Sagittarius. No, it doesn't. Moon is, excuse me, hold on. I need a little drink. Moon is nighttime. Moon is not the sun. Sun is day and fire. The moon is in a fire sign, which means it's friendly with the sun. That's okay. But the moon is cool, dark. We do call it a planet. It rules over Cancer, which is nighttime, family. So what I like how we put this together, Sagittarius is the sign of the truth. Sagittarius is about past lives. Sagittarius, now suddenly I'm seeing the word genome and the whole DNA data bank. Now we know that that's been bought by what is it, Blacklist, Black something, Blackthorn, something with black in it, who are bad. And they've acquired our DNA. Now it's not a secret that people can be replicated, cloned. Remember, they did the sheep cloning in the 80s, huge controversial topic. It doesn't mean they stopped it. So that's going to come re-break the surface. I feel through a leak or a whistleblower, WikiLeaks, something like that. Yeah. What else does Sagittarius rule over? Religion, law. I like it. It's going to be more revealing of the corrupt judges, the judges with blood on their hands, the ones who are being paid under the table. Truth are the people there. It rules judges. It rules judges. It rules high courts. And because it's the moon, this is going to be feminine. So we might find out, oh my God, Michelle Obama's a man or something. I don't know if there's truth in that, but things like that, things like that. It has to do with rulership, but it's the moon, so it's women. So this is going to help give rise to women in leadership. That's good news. While the masculine energy, the corrupted masculine energy it's going to be reaching a real bottoming out, but there's never going to be a finality about that because everything ebbs and flows. So as certain things come crashing, other things come rising. Like God doesn't have it that things come down crashing and it's a zero and a silence. Because if that's the case, then the whole world would end and we'd have to go back to amoeba, single cell, and restart the world all over again. It's not that. Not this time. We made it past 2012. Otherwise, it could have been that. So post 2012, enough of us are on this spiritual journey of awakening awareness, coming back to home, which for us needs to be in our heart, and then connecting with the high heart, which is the universal heart, the universal oneness. And now we're starting to get on that boat and understand what's the truth. Well, your truth is not the same as my truth or your neighbor's truth or your siblings or your children's truth. And we have to be able to respect that. Okay, now the whole thing about being a cat and having a litter box in a classroom, okay, that can't be, okay? That you are a human. And so that is gonna now raise, where is mental illness and where is the boundaries? We need boundaries. Right now, we don't have them because Saturn is boundaries and it's in Pisces, which is blurred. So all of the lines are blurred. We make exceptions and we're all inclusive, but why is it okay? I mean, it's going to traumatize other children who see their classmate go use a litter box. Like, and it's real. Like I know somebody who that's insanity. We are a human species. Okay. Now, with the era of Aquarius, which we are just moving into, there's going to be a lot more of that. How do people identify? Um, there will be more, but there needs to be a rule. How many freaking bathrooms do we need to have? Okay. A his, a hers, a both, a one for cats and one for dogs. Stop. Stop. Okay. Um, we need to be able to have healthier filing in. How do you identify? And there's got to be rules around that because if it's too loose cannon, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. Self-expression is very healthy, but where does the humanity end and the animalistic begin? Like it's just not healthy. So we're going to need, now another thing, because it's what I was starting to say leads into new schools. Clearly, our school system's failing our current population of school-aged people. That's for sure. Why? Because education is Capricorn. And so is real estate. And so people can't afford to live by themselves anymore. This is going to be more community-based living, more, it has to be more societal groupings, that kind of themes like, well, I believe this. So it even is all the cat and dog people, the clown people, the vampire people. They'll set up their own community and there they can live by their own rules. And that's all well and good. You have a right to be who you are. but there also has to be what's acceptable and not what's not acceptable. Because otherwise, it's just too Wild West, and we can't have that. All right. What else? The eclipse we're having on the 29th is at 9 degrees of Aries. I don't have to double check. I already know. It's at 9 degrees of Aries. So that 9 degrees of Aries is a very potent and powerful degree. See what it shows you in your own chart. Your 0 Aries is your realization wake up point. So when anything clicks on that 0 Aries, this is where you have a call to action, wherever this falls in your chart. However, with Venus and Mercury, the personal planets going backwards in this individual Aries, what I love and how I'm going to talk about it, well, maybe something else has come to light. And all this copy you just wrote, shit, now it doesn't feel like it fits anymore. So it's not a time to publish because you're going to get all the errors. It's not a time to, a simple little blog is okay. But when Mercury goes direct, you're going to feel a little differently when Venus goes direct. So I would encourage you to kind of be on pause, be more reflective, make your plan, but don't pull the trigger yet, not until we get to mid-April. Mid-April, we'll have those personal planets going forward again, and we're going to start coming out of the fog. We might feel like we're pulling our head out of our ass a little bit, and we're able to see with a little bit more clarity in our eyes, like cleaning our glasses. And you'll be able to understand where you stand versus your crowd, your peeps. What I super love is this is a new wave of energy that is encouraging our tribe, which is Aquarius. So this is going to be where you start noticing people. Oh my God, I want to be friends with you. Like, I feel that it's so strong. It's like I am personally feeling it extremely strongly, and I have no planets in Aquarius. So you're going to feel it no matter what. You don't need to have a planet like talking to anything here, but it's the flavor of Aquarius. So what does Aquarius rule in your chart? And it's going to be wherever this zigzag is, the yellow zigzag. It's yellow because it's an air sign, not a water sign. And so this is how I need to communicate with my tribe. I got to find them. Where are they? This is going to be where you start noticing and recognizing your tribe. People like you. You've been waiting your whole life. Actually, lots of lifetimes. Now we actually get to start seeing them again. And with the gift of the internet, we can make friends anywhere around the world. It's so awesome. That's why internet is good. And that this is also AI. So everything has a good and a bad. I mean, the invention of electricity, awesome. But of course, it's dangerous in the wrong hands. You can hurt people. There's the electric chair, which executes people, right? So there's good and bad to everything, or it's how it's used. How will you use the technology? Let it supplement you, excuse me, but not replace you. The way that we do our work is going to be changing, like people in the medical field, most of them, no, I don't know if it's fair to say most, will be losing their jobs. And this is going to be another topic over the next year and a half. Why? Because the headphone in Pisces, immune system, the South Node in Virgo, healthcare workers, service providers. The South Node is what's getting let go. So a lot of people, why? It's because technology is going to start to consolidate even more. You know that you can order. Remember when McDonald's first started having a picture of a hamburger on their cash register? So now you don't have to know how to read. Remember they took the words away from the stop signs. Now it's just a red octagon. So it is that, which is not necessarily bad because now if you're visiting from Europe, it's a universal knowing that an eight-sided red octagon means stop. Well, radiology, x-rays, the technology that goes with health and scanning. In fact, x-rays don't need a person to read them anymore. AI reads them better than people do. lots of medical stuff. Those jobs are going to be going away. And so the displacement of that, and that's why we want to move into the holistic world. That's why I'm teaching my healers course. That's why I teach all astrology rules is Aquarius and Pluto in Aquarius. There's a lot of power in this stuff. This used to be elite and only reserved for the wealthy, for the kings. Every king and leader has an astrologer. Not that they want to tell you that, but they do. And that's why you can do your business when your chart, your business has a chart. So you want to do what is when they signed the Declaration of Independence, they had an astrologer there. The chart of our country was created. So when you're creating a business, you want to use the most beneficial planets and the timing so that you are riding the wave of what you're creating to be an energetic match. That's what. God help you if you're a technology company and you signed your article of incorporation when Mercury was retrograde because you're going to fail. It's going to sink. It's going to go nowhere. So when you want to get a chart done for your business, and then also you can use current transits, which is all the planets moving around, and that's going to give you timing. This is going to be when you pop. This is going to be when it goes kind of easing off. This is when you need to work on your marketing. This is when you need to put more advertising. This is when you should do a social media boost. All that stuff works with you when you know the chart for anything. But I love business. So that is the power in your hands when you learn astrology. Okay, I got to wrap because I have a 1 o'clock client and I want to thank you, give you a big hug. I forgot to give you guys last week's class. So I will send it tonight with today's. And hopefully I can get today's on YouTube and it won't be banned. I'm at least going to give it a try. Okay, you guys, thank you for joining. I'm going to give you a great big hug. And if you have any topics that you want me to share, please send it to me in an email because I enjoy that. What do you want to learn about? Let's do that. So just send me your ideas and we'll go from there. Okay, you guys have a beautiful week. What are you going to do for yourself? Timestamp something. How do you want to procure the next 12 months? This Aries energy is about you. What do you want to do? Write it down, knowing in mid-April you're going to revise it. It's okay. Brainstorm. Just let everything pour out of you and then let it go. It's all good. It's all in divine timing. Okay? All right. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.